Music never gets old. Never gets old. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Well, three-pack today. Drew, Jack, Tyler. I guess a four-pack with Steven behind the camera. What you got there, Tyler? Little country boy?
Got a little country boy halfway home. Halfway home from Danville, I was kicking myself for not picking up more country boy in Kentucky. So faux pas on my part. I'm going to have to get some more the next time we go up to the lake.
I'm going to have to get some more if I just keep sitting at home watching football. I have a Hazy Jumper IPA. I don't normally go this route, but I picked some up yesterday. Shout out to my local liquor store for being open on Thanksgiving. I realized I needed some of that for the long day. We're here at a happy hour, sponsored by Country Boy as usual. A Black Friday edition. I guess all of our colleagues are too good to work on holidays, so you got the 3-4 of us for our usual. We usually do this on Thursdays, but obviously a Friday edition today, so we could eat a little turkey yesterday. But we'll run through the usual news and fun topics like we always do. We got our case board questions. We got some big news in UK sports land, and obviously a very important football game tomorrow. We started with some mentions of Country Boy. Be sure to check them out on Chair Avenue in Lexington, or the new pickleball complex with Country Boy Bar inside, out my way at the Midland Winchester intersection, we'll call it, or out in Georgetown, or go find Country Boy around Kentucky. Shout out Country Boy. Have you all done any Black Friday shopping yet?
Jack and I were just talking about that. It's like, do people actually do the in-person go to Walmart at 6 a.m. stand in line? And Jack said that, yeah, he was on Facebook and he saw some of his friends did that. I don't see the point unless there is a can't miss deal. And even then, what do I even need? Do I really need another television? Do I need a washer dryer? You really got to give me a deal to get me out of bed and into a physical store at 6 a.m. on a Friday morning. But that's just me. So I have online shopped, but other than that, no.
Yeah, I don't understand. I just don't get it. Like, what can I not get online for, even if it's just a couple of bucks more expensive than anything in store? Like the effort to spend money on the gas to get to the store, and then the hassle of fighting crowds and the traffic. Like there's nothing worthwhile for me to actually go do it. Like there was a couple years that I had just kind of got caught up in the fun and the rush of it all, but like it wasn't because I needed anything or that I was even looking for anything in particular. It was just like, hey, let's go have a good time. And I'm past that stage. I think I'm very comfortable in my own home.
When I lived back in Madisonville, late high school years, first year or two out of college, we would do the normal Wednesday night with all our friends. We don't really have bars in Madisonville. It's usually at someone's house. And when everyone else would be going to bed, me and a couple others would go to Walmart and just watch the chaos. And I absolutely loved it. I didn't need anything. I didn't buy anything. I was there. Maybe to even provoke some people. Maybe there'd be a hot item I'd put in my cart and push around and let people fight over it. It used to be a lot of fun, but I'm with you all. It's online now. These sales have been going on for a month. I've done plenty of shopping, but I have not left my couch. I can't imagine going to a mall or Walmart, any box store, you name it, this day and age, when it's all just right there in front of us. But it's a fun day. This is when I knock out my Christmas shopping.
Yeah, I don't like going into stores anymore in general. I don't know. Maybe that's just me as I've gotten older. But all the talk of Walmart and being back in Danville does remind me of when we first got a Walmart Super Center, a Super Walmart back in the day. Like, that's what you did on a Friday night. You would just go to the Walmart parking lot and see what chaos descended. I mean, granted, Danville's a small town. I mean, I know maybe they have one in Madisonville. I mean, Louisville's a little bit big city, but that was kind of what you did on a Friday night. If there wasn't a football game, if there wasn't a party, it's like, just go see what is happening in the Walmart parking lot, because it was always something. You
mentioned you were back around Danville recently. Jack, did you do any traveling for the holiday? What's your Thanksgiving look like as a father of some youngins?
I do all of my traveling locally, fortunately, but also unfortunately, because, when you have people coming in from out of town, like there's a home base somewhere else. So because we're local, we have to be the ones driving to everywhere else. So it's like, I think we have six Thanksgivings. I have another one that I'm going to right after this. My dad's Thanksgiving is tonight. So it's we are driving all across Louisville, and just it's absolute mass chaos. So we're very excited for the weekend to get here and start kind of winding things down. But we are still very much in the midst of the chaos.
Yeah, I didn't have to leave my neighborhood. That's nice.
Yeah, what number of the 6 are you on? Are you on? I mean, try and guess. I saw you Wednesday, so are you on number 4?
We're at 4. Tonight
All
is 4.
right.
Yeah. And then
How
one
many-
apiece Saturday and Sunday.
How many servings of turkey have you had?
So this may be TMI. I don't think it's TMI, but like my stomach has just been off, and it feels like Thanksgiving is being taken away from me because like I'll have a beautiful plate in front of me of just all of my favorite things in the world, and like I'll kind of pick and graze at it and eat a couple of bites and just be like, man, this is just not hitting the same way. So it's heartbreak. It's been truly heartbreaking. Yesterday especially, I had 2 Thanksgivings and I really didn't enjoy either of my meals. So I'm hoping I feel a little bit better today. I'm hoping that tonight it's a little bit different. But I missed the main, like the full feast yesterday. Tonight it's like ham sandwiches and everybody bring an appetizer. It's not like the true, stuffing, all that stuff. So a little disappointing. Not my best Thanksgiving effort this year, but hopefully the tides turn tonight.
Tyler, I saw a note that my Wi-Fi's bad. Y'all look crystal clear. Am I good?
You got a little bit of a lag, but it's fun to keep up. Yeah.
You all are in
choppy.
like 4K and perfect on my end. That's odd. I'm at home where I'm supposed to be. When we power
you're
down,
good.
power up, is it that bad?
Admittedly, you look better right now than you have this entire show. So
Yeah,
whatever,
it's good
just
to know.
keep your head in the same spot.
The
Interesting.
Wi-Fi had some turkey, maybe. I had a funny, well, I don't know, not a funny turkey story. So we had our big party in Danville yesterday, and my brother-in-law was going to deep fry the turkey, and he did. We didn't really check the gas canisters for the deep fryer to make sure they were fully full before this whole thing started, and there were 2 turkeys to deep fry. Get halfway through the first turkey, and it's like, oh, the temperature is not as high as it should be. So we had to dispatch one nephew to the gas station to get a new gas canister. He brings it back, propane tank. And it's like, this is a little light, but we'll plug it in, whatever. Totally empty. So then we had to go get a nut. We had to send a nut, like my brother, to Walmart to get another propane tank. He brings it back. This one's fully full. But the first turkey, we're just going to call it the practice turkey, the warm-up turkey. It was fully cooked on the outside. On the outside, it looked completely raw. Like there was no burnt, like beautiful golden brown skin. It looked like we had poached a turkey. And it still tasted good, but it did not have like that Martha Stewart outside, beautiful golden brown, crisp. So it was very moist, I'll say that. But second turkey knocked it out of the park. So yeah. Maybe not the picture perfect turkey day that I was expecting in terms of looks, but it was tasty nonetheless.
Turkey duty comes with so much anxiety. I know it's important, but for the people that have to do it, it stressed me out for 3 days. I did manage to not ruin my family's Thanksgiving. I forgot to take pictures after I cooked it, but there it is, almost done on the smoker. But man, when people are texting you like, what time is it going to be ready? How's it going? I want to just be like, please leave me alone. I'm so nervous right now. I have no control over this situation. I'm just watching a meat thermometer. But mine turned out all right. We had a small Thanksgiving this year. I had a lot of family not come in, which I don't want to say I don't like having family. Don't get me wrong. But usually I have people on top of people in my house, in the guest room. It's been kind of nice being quiet around here this year. I love visitors. I hope they're back next year. But it was nice having a peaceful season here. Since my Wi-Fi is down, should I call LG&E and KU? Tyler, do you think they could help me out?
They could probably help you out.
Well, they can help out us here on the Rapid Reaction and you, because when the light goes out, it can feel like a full court press, but staying in the know is as easy as a win. Make sure your phone number is updated in the KG&E or LG&E and KU mobile app or in my account. If the power goes out, you'll get play-by-play text from 454-358 with outage updates, safety information, and time estimates for power restoration. Can't text? No problem. They'll call the landline in your account with the same updates so you're never left in the dark. Everybody with your landlines out there, make sure to sign up for those or put your cell phone in if you don't have a landline. But we like LG&E and KU. They're big in Kentucky for powering everyone, and I hope they're powering my modem and my router right now so I can keep doing this. As Jack mentioned, he's got a Thanksgiving to get to at 5, a little day after celebration. So we're not going to go as long as usual, but we still have a long list of topics. So let's just get right to it. We'll do a quicker rundown than normal. Our first topic, we'll stay a little long discussion on this one because it is a pretty big football game tomorrow. Cats going to Louisville. We know the drill. Got to win to get in the bowl game. We know all the questions around the program's future. We know we don't know the status of the injury report, but we know how banged up Kentucky is. We know on that end, Louisville looks like they've quit. I'd say this is the lowest the enthusiasm has been on either side in many years. But, Tyler, it is still the Louisville game. We're going to be up for it. I'm fired up for it. Where do you stand a little over, 20 hours out from kickoff?
Yeah, so we were doing our staff predictions this morning, and I got the post started. So I was the first one to put my score in. And when I wrote it, I was like, I don't feel like I'm picking Kentucky by enough. And I do feel confident. I think Kentucky's going to win this game. I don't have a ton of question in my mind about that. But the score margin of mine was a lot smaller than the rest of ours. And I'm very happy that Louisville seems to be on the downward trend going into this game, because otherwise I don't think I'd feel too confident. Maybe that's just the Vandy loss. Kentucky losing 45-17 in Nashville still kind of hanging over me. I'm very happy that Cutter Boley is every bit as good as we thought he'd be. The cleats that he had, you shared, Drew, he got some custom cleats with all the UK quarterbacks on them. That makes me feel even better about this game. But there's still a part of me that's like a little scared, because it seems like the theme with this Kentucky team has been one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. And every time you really want to go all in on them, there's something that happens where it's like, oh, maybe we're not as good as we thought we were. But I think Louisville's worse, so I'm feeling good about this game, although I don't have it as quite a big a blowout as the rest of the group. But if it's a win, that's fine by me. That's all I want.
I'm glad you mentioned Boley's cleats. I put those out there. A friend of the program, Billy Hobbs at True Blue Customs, did them. People are getting mad that Will Levis isn't on there and Steven Johnson. I guess I didn't make it clear. It's Kentucky-born quarterbacks. All six of them. Somebody said Derek Ramsey. Those are all legends themselves. But he did Kentucky guys who played in the Governor's Cup. So that's why he landed on those six, just to be clear. But those are very cool. I hope he has some magic. Last season, we know the story. It was his first career start. Throws 2 interceptions, and he's gone by halftime. I know it's a redemption game for him. We got Vince on the other sideline. We got the bowl game on the line. This time of year, for me, motivation is just as much as talent, what you have in the locker room. And I'm looking at Louisville, looking like they're ready to quit. Their fan base is so upset. They had playoff dreams not even a month ago, and now they've lost 3 in a row. Where, I'm not going to sit here and act like this has been a great season for Kentucky football. But whatever you think about the team, they haven't quit on Stoops, and they want to get to a bowl game. So just on the motivation factor, I give Kentucky the nod there. We'll still have to figure out, this not being an SEC week, we don't get the official availability report. That'll have a big impact on how Kentucky looks. But, Jack, I know you're not the highest on the Kentucky football team these days. How do you feel going into the game? I put it lightly. It's a different discussion whenever we play teams with an actual pulse and guys that are real contenders and have actual talent. But when Mark Stoops sees a broken locker room, buddy, that's his Super Bowl, and he knows how to get his guys up. We saw Auburn, we saw Florida. This is his sweet spot, and it's just funny, talking to. I don't know if you guys have talked to any Louisville fans. I don't know why you would, but unfortunately, I have too many of them in my life. But they're almost scoffing at it, well, we don't even want to win. This season's just over. We're just so focused on basketball at this point. So you guys can take your little stupid Governor's Cup win. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly where we want you. If we don't absolutely steamroll them after knowing how last year unfolded, knowing the Vince Marrow dynamic, knowing what's on the line with a bowl game, frankly, I don't know what else to tell you about this football program. So yes, I do feel very, very good about this one. I think Kentucky's going to roll. We haven't lost in that stadium since 2018, so 3 straight. Let's go ahead and make it 4. Mark Stoops is 4-1 at Louisville. That's pretty nuts.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, the road team has been good in this traditionally, even though until last year Kentucky had won 2 in a row at home, part of a big streak there. But Stoops gets them fired up for this game. I have memories. My favorite UK Louisville moment, and it's not even that big of a deal, it was a video that came after the win, was when they were playing my favorite song, Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. We can't play it here. I think they'll take us off YouTube. But Stoops stands on a chair to give a speech, and he looks around, and the players are rapping the song, and he just doesn't speak. He just gets down off the chair and lets that song and the players carry that juice. And that was kind of an example of how he already has these guys fired up before they even get there for this rivalry game. Maybe the fan base and all of this plays into it. We hear both basketball and football when new kids get to campus. They're like, oh, I learned quickly about the Louisville game. So whatever you think of Stoops overall, that's been debated ad nauseum. he has them fired up for this one, and I expect that to be the case. I mean, what was it, a few years ago? We got Baron Brown doing this to a flutist. Like, he's in the band's face. I hope we have – if Kentucky goes in with that attitude and the defense isn't just completely, out of bodies, Alex Afari is one they really need. I like the Cats too, and I even bet I've bet it at plus 3.5 to win and then minus 6.5 in case we want to get real crazy. So I'm very invested.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
I also stand corrected. It's 2016. I had 2018 on the mind, but 2016. We do a lot of winning in that building.
There you go. So we're all confident here, although, Tyler, I'll admit, when I saw our KSR office predictions and we all did it, I'm like, oh, we're setting ourselves up. I wish Nick Roush usually falls on that sword for us.
Well, he can't fall on the sword this week.
No.
I mean, this is family for him. I was hoping, Uncle Jeff would have been at the Thanksgiving table and shared some more scoop, but I think Uncle Jeff may be a little distracted by some other jobs out there. So, I don't know. That my thing with this game is I don't know how much even a big win is going to move the needle with this fan base. Like, say Kentucky goes out and beats them 40-10 or whatever. I don't know if that's going to get even Stoops' biggest doubters back on board and it's going to be a feel-good thing. But it's better than the alternative. Yeah, it will. Like, will that get you back on board?
We could win 100-0 and I would be set in my ways.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no result other than a big loss that's really going to move the needle with any of this. But it's better than the alternative. I'm never going to cheer for Kentucky to lose. I'm going to cheer for Kentucky to kick, Louisville's butt. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a feel-good moment. Is it going to lead to a feel-good offseason? I don't know. We'll see. But we want a fun Saturday in the Governor's Cup.
I don't care anything about big picture circumstances. Yeah. It's Louisville. I want the worst for Louisville. If they had a rowing team, I would want their canoes to sink. I don't even know if they're called canoes, but I want the worst for Louisville, and it's a Louisville game with Kentucky. I want to win it, and then we'll let the chips fall where they may after the game. I know we're focused on football because that's a big one in now 19 hours and 42 minutes. But there's also a big basketball game around the corner, Jack, and as fun as it's been beating up on the teams ranked outside the top 300, Kentucky's 5-0 in those games. Been lots of fun in Rupp Arena. 0-2 in the big ones, as you all know. North Carolina's coming up on Tuesday night, 9:30 game. We all love that. I have a little bit of a confession. I watched North Carolina yesterday. First time really laying eyes on them. I have Caleb Wilson nightmares. I'll just throw that out there right now. As I was watching him, I kept thinking, oh, God, if he does that to us, it is going to be an ugly night in Rupp Arena. But he is one man. And Kentucky got a little confidence back, even though it's hard to kind of grade what they did in the last couple games. But where are you, Jack Pilgrim, with UNC coming around? Kentucky should be favored, but Caleb Wilson looks like a problem. One of those freshmen in a class full of stars this year.
Yeah, speaking about Kentucky beating up on teams without a pulse, same with the basketball side. Caleb Wilson's unbelievable, and what bothers me most is that he's also like just a super kind, super sweet kid. I remember when I was down in Atlanta last year for the Duke game, I texted his dad that morning at like 10 a.m. and said, hey, we're in town. We'd love to, that was right when Kentucky was in the peak of his recruitment. Hey, we'd love to stop by your high school and interview you. We're in town if that's possible. And it was like the kindest, like, absolutely. We'd love to make time for you guys. Anytime, just stop in. We will build our schedule around you guys. It's like, oh, wow, this guy's got to be a lock to Kentucky if he's that open and kind to us. He sits down during his lunch, like, while all of his other friends and classmates are going to lunch, he comes and meets with KSR and sits down with us for a 30-minute interview. He could have gone for an hour if he wanted to. And just like as sweet as can be, shook my hand afterward. And then he commits to UNC like a month later. So he is an awesome kid, but an even better basketball player, and he scares the bejesus out of me. But this is why you bring in Mo Diabate. Like he is the Caleb Wilson stopper if there has ever been one built in a factory. Like Mo Diabate, he's tough, he's physical, he's gritty. He's that's why you brought him in. So I'm hoping that works out in our favor. But I do think that there's a sense of just wishful thinking at that point because I don't think there's anybody that could really just truly shut him down. I think it's more about slowing him down.
I think back to before his commitment when he was asked his Dream Five, and he said Malachi Marino, Jasper Johnson, Caden Lewis, who was committed at the time. We're like, oh, this is a lock. Picks North Carolina. I played it off at the time like, freshmen don't have an impact anymore. We'll be okay. Pope's got this figured out. But Caleb Wilson's averaging like 20 and 10 right now, shooting 58% from the field. So in hindsight, maybe would have been nice to add him. But as I said, one player. We're going to be all right, Tyler. Tell me we're going to be all right.
I think one reason maybe the only reason I have confidence is the Rupp Arena crowd. I just keep thinking back when Walker Horn hit that three, which Drew Franklin manifested on Friday night. It was awesome. Or Wednesday night too. What day is today? Wednesday night. Yeah, I'm losing track. I'm really glad this game is in Rupp because otherwise I'd be really, really worried. And I'm really worried about Friday against Gonzaga, but we'll get there. I think if Kentucky doesn't win, it's going to get kind of ugly. It's already feeling a little ugly and tense around the basketball program. And obviously losing another game against a ranked opponent would be bad. But then you also have the whole Caleb Wilson angle. I mean, Kentucky missed on him. He picked UNC over Kentucky, and it feels like it's the year of the freshmen again in college basketball, and we're seeing all these freshmen have these huge performances like, the Boozer kids and all that, and it's just, oh man, if Kentucky loses in Rupp to UNC, it would just be brutal. But I'm going to try and be optimistic. Maybe the Walker Horn 3 pulled this team together, and whatever issues they may have had, Walker Horn and his hair will have pulled them together and they can get a win. But either way, oh my gosh. Yeah. That was the talking point at our Thanksgiving yesterday. Like my nephews and my sister and my brother-in-law, everybody wanted to talk about Walker Horn's hair. Multiple questions about Walker Horn's age and his hair, but we love Walker Horn and his hair could look like whatever. And Wednesday night will have looked just as amazing. I'm glad it sounds like Mo Diabate will be back on Tuesday night for that game because, like Jack said, we're certainly going to need him. I don't know, unless Jack has heard anything different, we'll see about Jalen Lowe. It just kind of feels like we're day to day forever with him, as Mark Pope would say, which is just kind of a brutal waiting game. But Mo, I think, could be a huge, huge key piece on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think we're going to just – I think the goal going into all of this when they kind of made the decision like, hey, let's give it another shot, let's take another stab at this, that the goal was to – whether it's Tuesday against North Carolina or next weekend against Gonzaga, that the plan was like, hey, let's do whatever it takes to get Jalen in position to play in either of those games, preferably both of them. He's been practicing, doing some not contact, but enough to feel like he is definitely trending in the right direction. So fingers crossed. I mean, I would feel a whole heck of a lot better if we had Jalen Lowe in the lineup than without.
We can't lose that game. I know the season's far from over, but 0-3 before going to Gonzaga.
And it tips off at 9:30. 9:30. If we're lucky. I forget to look at the schedule and see which game is ahead of it, but
later.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal, but it'll all be worth it when they win, right?
That's right. You mentioned Walker Horn. At the last game, I walked in and his dad, Darren, was rushing in. I guess Darren, who coaches Northern Kentucky, had beaten Wofford early in the day, and he doesn't get to go to many games. I don't know how many he's been to at all. And I saw him running in the door by himself right at tip-off. So pretty cool that Papa Horn was in there to see his son. And I don't know if y'all noticed, if you've seen a clip, Walker points to the other end of the arena. He was pointing at his dad and his mom there at the end.
Oh,
so little
awesome.
Adding to the big night for Walker was that his dad, who I can't imagine gets to go to any games, was able to pull that one off right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We'll have plenty of time to talk about that one coming up. We'll have lots of sources say, all kinds of stuff on the website. That'll be one of the biggest games of the year, honestly, for that team coming up on Tuesday. For now, we can talk about a little bit about the women. How about you want to go positive on the women, or we'll go positive? Talk a little volleyball. Did you all were you all locked in for the championship?
Heck yeah.
What was that? I'm with you, Tyler. Was that Tuesday night?
I think it was Tuesday.
Tuesday night. There we go. Great. Yeah, were you all locked in?
It was awesome. I think volleyball is one of the most underrated sports to watch on TV because you could know not a lot about volleyball and still have a really fun time watching it. Football, unless, you've watched it a long time, you can get confused on the rules. It's a little slow. Baseball, obviously, very slow, very hard for me to watch on TV. Basketball's, pretty quick, pretty easy to get a grasp of. But volleyball, we go to 5 Points Pizza every Sunday, and we were there one Sunday and Kentucky volleyball was playing somebody, and I asked them to put the TV on it. And slowly but surely, like everybody at the bar and the tables around us started watching because it's just fun to watch. Like it's nonstop action. You know, you've got the digging and all that. It's fun. So yeah, I was locked in for that. I feel like that's the volleyball team and the women's basketball team, maybe before they lost to Maryland. It feels like they're kind of carrying UK athletics right now. So shout out to them. It's really fun to see them get their moment. And I am super pumped about the NCAA tournament. Bring it on.
Yeah, selection Sunday is, I think it's 6 o'clock Sunday night. We'll find out. They'd be shocking if they're not one of the top seeds in hosting, but we'll learn the opponent in the bracket Sunday night. Jack, I'll cut you off there.
My wife asked for one thing for Christmas this year, and it's to take her to the NCAA tournament to go see the Cats play. So
that's awesome.
Super easy Christmas for me this year, but that just goes to show she played very competitively in high school, and so that we just obsess over it. I mean, every single match we are all the way in on it, and the SEC tournament champ. Like I was done. I thought, yeah, we got down 2-0, and then it was 23-18, I believe. And it was just like, I mean, it's just going to be physically impossible to come back from that. And somehow, some way, they do it. And it was as much fun as I've had in a really long time, just watching a sporting event, just from start to finish, the highs and the lows, and just kind of the emotions that came with it. So yeah, it was an awesome group. They are trending definitely toward national championship status for the first time since 2020. So just it'd be very, very cool to see them finish the job because I think they're the most talented team in college volleyball.
And it's so fun, those matches at historic Memorial Coliseum. I've been to a few of them. You know, part of it is I'm in media and I don't get to get in the crowd. As you all know, we're the nerds on our computers and don't cheer. So I go out of my way to try to catch volleyball when I can. And it is just a great group in there. The Tennessee match was one of the more fun UK events I've been to in a while. And part of it is, you know, you can see it on TV. The players naturally have that energy and excitement. It's nonstop, but that translates all the way to the top row of the building. And I expect nothing less and maybe even a little more for the NCAA tournament. You all should go if you get a chance, people watching on YouTube. You just heard Jack will be there. I'm going to get in there. It should be a good time. And we'll find out those matchups Sunday night. I'm going to keep saying 6. I'm pretty sure it's 6. That's when that starts.
Yeah,
the women's basketball team, though, took their first loss down in Puerto Rico, losing to Maryland. Wasted a good Tony Morgan game. She had 22 points, 8 assists, although she did have 8 turnovers, part of a 20-turnover day for the Cats, losing by 8 to Maryland. They play again. Was it tonight? Yeah, coming up. 5:30. Play Morgan State to try to bounce back. I don't know a lot about Morgan State. In fact, I know nothing about them. But hopefully that's a good bounce-back opportunity. I have not seen the women's team yet this season in person, but I assume it's like last season. Same thing I'm saying about volleyball, Tyler. They just have a fun atmosphere in that gym. It's a different fan base. It's a lot of the people that can't get into Rupp Arena or maybe not even football, and they're very supportive of all the women's teams and really everyone in Memorial. It's so much fun in there.
Yeah, so I just looked up Morgan State's women's basketball team. They're 1-7.
Okay,
so
nice.
Hopefully, I think this will be a good bounce back. I didn't get a chance to see the game versus Maryland because it was on Flow Sports, as is this game. So I'm just going to kind of pretend that game didn't happen because if nobody really got to see it, unless they subscribe to that streaming service, it didn't happen, right? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Kenny Brooks's team has a pretty good chance to get back on track here. So I hope they're having fun in Puerto Rico. And Maryland's ranked number 7, so I don't think it's that big of a loss, obviously. But Jack, what are your thoughts?
Well, but I actually I want to play a game with you all. And Jack, I know you have to go soon. We can finish up. I don't want you being late for any holiday Thanksgiving, so feel free to just, if you need to, let us know. But let's play Guess the Spread because I just looked up the point spread. There is a point spread for Kentucky, Lord. Morgan State. Who wants to go first? All right, since I called you out, Jack, I'll let you go first. Tyler, you can't box them in. We won't do Price's Right rules, but let's see who can get closest for a 7-1 Kentucky team playing a 1-7 Morgan State team.
We are going 41.5, Bob. 41.5.
Okay, 41.5 locked in for Jack. Tyler?
I'm going to go 39.5.
All right. Jack will win, but neither were close. Kentucky is a 55.5 point.
Holy crap.
I didn't know they made them that high.
That game's tipping off in 1 hour on Flow Sports. I'm going to take the Cats to cover.
I think so. Why not?
56-point win incoming.
That's insane. I've never seen, like, I thought the Louisville spread that the other day was 42.5. That was the biggest that I had ever seen. I mean, that's unbelievable.
At least everybody gets to go to Puerto Rico. Like, if you're Morgan State and you're losing, expected to lose by that much, it's like, yeah.
It's like the old heads when Kentucky goes to the Bahamas and we're just playing 40-year-old bums that are half drunk. They're just like, dude, I'm just here for the vibes. I don't care what the score is going to be. Yeah, I think we got to hammer Kentucky on this one.
Yeah, I'm obviously not going to put much money on a 55.5-point spread, but I think I have to do at least $1 just so I'm invested in covering that, because that is outrageous. And you mentioned, I think I've told this story before on Happy Hour, but one of those Bahamas trips, the Betamax team, Mega Beta, whatever, where Yelovich comes from, highlight of my KSR covering team's life is being at a blackjack table at about 4 a.m. and looking up, and the star player of the team we're playing in like 8 hours is across from me, maybe even drunker than I was. So that showed what the motivation was like back in those games. I don't know if the Kenny Brooks and the women's team are out getting wild like the old Bahamas trips down there in Puerto Rico, but I've got them covering that 55.5.
Nice.
Let's knock out some KS board questions. Jack, you good?
Let's do it. Let's roll.
We'll make it quick. Like I said, if at any point you need to go, just step away. All right. Connor asks, "What is a toy you always wanted as a kid but never got?"
I'll start with this one because it immediately comes to mind, and you are both guys, so you won't get it. But the American Girl dolls. If you're a girl and you're watching this and you were born around when I was in the 80s, 90s, the American Girl dolls were very fancy dolls, and they were expensive, and they had little clothes and outfits and stories and historical references. And my mother would never get me one, but all my friends had them, and I was very jealous. So that's my answer. And I wasn't even a big doll person, but there was a whole culture involved with these American Girl dolls.
I remember those. I did not partake, but I have a sister. Same situation for her too. Mine maybe not so much as toys, but I was actually just talking about this with my mom not even an hour ago as we were eating leftover Thanksgiving food. But you get a little older and get a little money. I'm not saying like rich or anything, but you go buy some of the stuff you wanted as a kid. Like when I played basketball, I had a very low budget on tennis shoes. Now it wasn't like I wasn't getting the knockoffs, but Jordans weren't really an option. And I think Tom Hart has said this too, but I went and bought like the 3 pairs of Jordans as a 40-year-old adult that I wanted when I was 14. So not really a toy, but like the shoes I wanted when I was younger, and mom and dad aren't paying 120 or whatever they were back then. I made sure that I went back and was able to get the shoes I wanted. So I guess that would be my closest example.
In my family, it was always like, hey, don't just make a Christmas list with 10,000 things on it and make us choose. Like, hey, find something that you really want, preferably what you really need, and we'll 1 or 2 things to really take pride in picking something and having it be like the one big thing. And the year the PS3 came out, I remember that was just the one thing I obsessed over. I was like, Mom, you got to get me a PS3. It looks amazing. And it was like the whole time she was like, it's too expensive. There's the frenzy to get them. It's just impossible. There's no way. And I remember that was the first time that I had ever not gotten the one thing that I really wanted for Christmas. And sure enough, that Christmas I opened it up and there was one under the tree, and I was just like, I don't even know how you got your hands on one. So there's not one that jumps out at me that I didn't get, because I was always very selective about it. But that was the one that shocked me the most, and the one I still think of to this day.
I got the Nintendo 64 a year after the hot Christmas. Mom and Dad, if you're listening, not ungrateful. Very excited, and I guess that would have been 97. But I think it was 96. The Nintendo 64 was your version of the PS3. I'm a little older here, and I didn't have it under the tree, but a year later it was, and I was just as happy. What's 1 year? That's fine. I still play my Nintendo 64. I'm looking at it right now. It's plugged in. Now, however many years later. What's up next, Steven? What is your official prediction for JQ's return? Can also do low if you would like.
It feels like a Jack question.
We are going St. John's on December 20th, Bob. We're going St. John's on December 20th. I think it. I like just being honest. It is very much a sliding scale that we're going back and forth on. That I think there are a lot of opinions involved about when. Like if it were up to Jaden, he would be playing Tuesday against Caleb Wilson. Like he's had that on his eye. Like he has wanted that individual matchup. But I think everybody else in the room is going, yeah, but that's a little ambitious. We got to get 5-on-5 full contact in practice first. We're not even there. So Jaden himself is super, super ambitious. Everybody else is kind of in the week by week basis from there. So I think loosely kind of sort of planning on St. John's, but it has changed multiple times over the last week or two. So very, very much TBD, but that's my loose educated guess at this point.
I've never had a game on it, but I've heard even as recent as just a week or two ago that mid-December, kind of to your point, we'll call the 20th mid-December is the target. And, there's not many of these cupcake games left on the schedule to ease him in. So he's probably going to have to debut in a big game if it's going to be a December matchup. I will say I was the most pessimistic about Lowe. Not that I knew anything, but I just set in my brain, I'm not going to expect this guy. And if he plays, awesome. It has been good to see Pope's updates, even little things like him just wearing athletic gear in the background of practice. It's not always the uniform, but it's not the case that he's just sitting at home with his agent talking about next year. It looks like he's going to give it a go. I have no prediction for that, but I at least love the updates we're getting here and there.
Let's say North Carolina. Let's just say let's say we're going to get Lowe back. Just
Perfect.
we're going to speak it into existence here.
Love that. Love the positive attitude. We got any more, Stephen? The state of the UK program under Pope currently. What does he need to do to keep his job? Wow, we're already talking about Pope keeping his job. It's November of year 2. I mean, I'm as disappointed as anyone in Louisville and Michigan State. I've got a few big picture concerns, but keep his job? What are we doing, guys?
I mean, I think you'd have to really kind of flatline. Like NCAA tournament would have to be, you'd have to either miss it or go first round exit. I don't even know if there's a scenario in which he would lose his job. He does need some big ranked wins though. I think it's not about his job security. It's about Big Blue Nation's mood. And if you go 0-2 next week, it's going to be kind of brutal around here, even though it's early, even though it's non-conference. But what if they go 0-2? It's kind of hard to get faith about SEC play coming up because it's just going to get harder.
Yeah, I don't even know a scenario that, the wheels could fall off and you miss the NCAA tournament, and even still that would be hey, you're officially on warning, this is your warning, you're on probation, let's now reevaluate after next season. I really don't envision this. I do think that he needs a good PR win. I think he needs to land a 5-star. I think he needs to, capitalize on some. If Cal was so good at maximizing PR when things weren't going well and he needed a shot, he would close on a 5-star kid to make kind of dangle the meat at the end of the stick for next season. Cal was very good at that. I think Pope is still kind of getting his legs underneath him and trying to figure out how to navigate the PR space. So he could very much use a 5-star commitment sooner rather than later. But if not, hey, we could win some basketball games too. That'd be fun.
A big win over North Carolina will go a long way. It's not like a must win, but it's please win just to cheer everyone up for a little bit. Although, Gonzaga looked like a juggernaut until they just lost by 40, so they are beatable. I don't know if that says more about Gonzaga or Michigan, but that was a surprising result in that one.
Did they just give up? It was the third game in 3 days, and they were I'm tired. Let's just go
Michigan's
home.
just a wagon. Michigan is just, holy moly, they're good.
I mean, Vegas will do that to you. It's it's a 2-night, 3-night max. It's all right, that's it.
Hey, that Yaxel kid would have been fun to have on this roster too.
Oh yeah, it really would.
Must be nice.
I don't like all the names we're in with being some of the best people in college basketball right now. Like I said, I tried to downplay Caleb Wilson. Whatever, we don't need a freshman. We've got 30-year-olds. Cal's freshmen look pretty good too. I caught the end of Arkansas Duke. I know everyone talks about this year being full of all these great superstars. I've flipped my opinion back and forth. I am now saying Cam Boozer is the best player in the country. That guy was unstoppable. Is he like that all the time? That was my first time seeing Duke this year.
I watched him do it a lot at Peach Jam and all the EYBL events. And what sucks is he was always a horrible interview, like the biggest jerk on the planet. But it was like a witty, sly, like I'm intentionally giving you bad quotes, even though you're looking for good quotes. And so like I have this deeply rooted hatred toward him as a basketball player, and it's the Duke thing adds to it. So yes, there is something about watching him play basketball, and I'm like, you were mean to me in the past, and you're way too good at basketball. So man, I can't stand you. So it breaks my heart that he is as good as he is.
And Cal's got a couple of them. Acuff, I won't put him in the Cam Boozer territory, but he is one of those star freshmen that Cal needs. Don't have any big Arkansas takeaways. I don't want to give too much sunshine in that direction, but they did give Duke a game last night. We got.
Do you ever watch an Arkansas game and just when they get in the huddle and see all the faces and just kind of like think that you're living in the Twilight Zone, going, how did we end up here? I had that moment watching them last night. That was an interesting one.
There was a moment last night. I'm doing a good job of ignoring him completely this year. I got into it last year because the change. I have not kept up whatsoever. But there was a break in the Bengals-Ravens, which had my attention, and I flipped it over and saw it was close. And they go to the huddle, and Abby's on the couch with me, and she's like, Kenny Payne coaches at Arkansas? He's just sitting there. And I was like, yep, that's what he does.
My wife said those exact words verbatim. Exact words. He's just sitting there. I'm like, yep, that's what he does.
And Bruiser was chewing his gum, and Brad had on like some 3-piece suit, and I was like, that's our guys. They're all right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough Arkansas talk. That's already more than I wanted to do. Yeah, they do have a good freshman. I'll give them that. But Cam Boozer is what was my takeaway from that game. Let's get another one, then get out of here, Steven. We got turkey to eat.
Oh, we got what's your favorite country boy brew? That's a good one to end on.
Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry. Good eyes, Tyler. By the way, is my Wi-Fi still holding up, or have I just been lagging?
You're crystal clear.
Doing great. Yep.
Okay.
LG&E and KU hooked you up.
Hey, I do use them. I got a bill around here. I can show you what I pay.
Same.
My favorite country boy, I'm enjoying the hazy I had. I'm still probably leaning key lime cougar bait, but that's a summer beer. I'm not having that now on the holidays. But this hazy's pretty good I'm on right now.
I'll go halfway home, American Pale Ale for now. But I'm curious to see if they have like any holiday ales or anything, because those are always fun. So I'll have my eye out for those.
We'll send some your way.
Going light. Just the light's perfect for me. It tickles
country
my
light.
fancy.
Jack's got to take care of he's got to take care of his temple.
Yep.
It's physique. All right, got any more?
I think we're good.
I saw one asking. I want to make sure I saw who got it. It was about going to Nashville next week. Well, Tyler, you live in Nashville, and Jack's going, and I'm going.
I'll be here.
So whoever you are, I'm trying to scroll back and find it. Yes, we're going. We're coming in hot.
Steven will be there too. Everybody associated
here
with the show right now will be there.
Yes.
Party time. Excellent.
Looking forward to that one. But a lot between now and then, including a big football game coming up tomorrow. KSR pregame shows at 9 a.m. Can't wait for that. But I am excited about the game. Leave aside the 5 wins. Leave aside your problems with Stoops. Leave aside all the concerns with Kentucky football. We've all heard from Frank Franklin this week. I ain't the happiest myself. But this is the Governor's Cup, and Louisville stole it last year. It was getting pretty comfortable in Lexington. We didn't even have to move it. Had a nice, comfortable spot in the trophy case. Let's get it back home and remind those cards that, sure, you got the basketball game. We'll give you one. You got to win one every once in a while. But we got to let them know Kentucky's still boss around here. That kicks off at noon on ACC Network. I don't even know if I have that. Is that a thing that's standard with the ESPN stuff? So. Respectfully to the people calling the game in a preview, I just typed their names out. I've never heard of any of them. I guess that's part of the ACC experience, but it's happening. Cats are a 3-point dog, and the 3 of us are picking them to win, as is the rest of the office. Check out KentuckySportsRadio.com tonight and all day tomorrow for stuff from that game and more. And then we'll turn the page, and Jack will lead our coverage into the basketball game Tuesday night. But thanks for joining us today on a Black Friday when a lot of people are off work, enjoying time with their family. Jack, go say hello to your family for another Thanksgiving. Tyler, enjoy your night. Same for you, Steven. Thank you all for putting up with my lagging internet. Have a good evening. Go Cats.